Samantha Forrest.
And I'm Brian Forrest.
And today on our Clean Eating for Beginners series, we're going to talk about grocery shopping. Now, this can seem a little overwhelming for a lot of people when you first get started because there is so much food in a grocery store. So we're hoping that we can kind of break it down for you and make the process a little bit easier as you get started on your journey.
One of the things we want to hit on is don't decide that you're going to clean eat and go to the store empty-handed without a list, without doing a little research about figuring out what kind of balance you want in your diet. You can't go there, pick up a couple bags of oranges and apples and think, I'm just going to eat fruit all the time because it does contain a lot of sugar. I'm just going to eat peanut butter and apples. It's healthy, but in moderation. So you want to do your research, make sure you have a list of what you're going to take so you don't go in there blind, because you're going to end up in the middle aisles picking things that you're trying to convince yourself that are clean.
So touching on the middle aisles thing is when you're grocery shopping, grocery shop the perimeter of the store. Most of the stores have your fruits and veggies and your meats and dairy and all of those fun things on the outside of the store. You want to try to avoid the middle aisles as much as possible because that is all of the processed food, and we're going to talk about reading labels shortly. But while you're doing that, stick with fresh fruits, fresh veggies. You're going to want to do lean meats, which would be chicken, turkey, and if you're doing a ground turkey, you want to stay with a 96, or is it 97? 97.3 blend of turkey. You can do leaner cuts of beef if that's what you're into, as well as pork. And when it comes to dairy, eggs, Greek yogurt is a great option for somebody when you're first getting started. So these are all things to keep in mind. And for food labels, you want to really make sure that you're not having sugar on a lot of your things, because a lot of your dairy items will have added sugar in there, so you want to try to avoid that stuff.
Yeah, you also want to take a look at the labels of like hidden stuff. Like it said it has real sugar, but then it also has sucralose, and then it has additives and preservatives, all these other things that are sweetened. We're like, well, it only has 3 grams of sugar, so it's not bad, but then it has 20 grams of sugar alcohol, and it's sweetened with Splenda and all this, but it has 90 calories, and 1.5 grams of fat, so it's got to be good for me. In theory, maybe it is, but without all that other junk that's added in there. Same thing she was saying with the lean proteins. When you look at ground meat, you got to watch it a lot of times. Like, we never buy ground chicken, because ground chicken, you say it's ground chicken, but they also they grind in the thighs and the skin and all that stuff that you don't want. So you don't want to fool yourself thinking, I'm getting this healthy thing, and put it down on the table, go on your clean eating journey, but you're actually eating a bunch of junk thinking you're eating clean. So you have to do your research on that and make sure that you're getting your good quality stuff. What we do as a tip, and we'll get into more later in this series, is we grind our own chicken. We cut up all the fat, grind it. When we get lean beef and stuff like that, cut off all the fat and grind it up. And we do it all ourselves so we know exactly what we have. Because they also like to put solutions like salt solutions and preservatives. And you can watch videos on it on the internet anywhere you want. Just Google it. It's right there for everybody to see. It's just nobody gives a shit. They'll put a needle in there and you'll watch this half-pound chicken breast turn into a full-pound breast. You're paying twice as much than you should, and it's all just water and sodium injections.
Yeah, it's kind of gross. So when speaking about food labels while you're going through the grocery store, you want to try to make sure that you're buying things that have 5 ingredients or less. We're also going to post a small little picture for you about some of the things you really want to avoid that are hidden, like he was talking about, when it comes to sweeteners that you might not be used to, added preservatives, and all of those things. It'll be a short little list in our actual blog post for you. So take a look at that. It's going to be a short list, but there's a ton of them out there for you. So as you get more in this journey, you'll start to understand more of those hidden things. And as on top of reading the labels, so you want to look for 5 ingredients or less, right? And you want to be able to pronounce those ingredients, or at least know what they are. So like, you have peanut butter, a lot of times will have extra things added into it, like sugar and salt and oils and things like that. And you can buy peanut butter that is just peanuts. And these are things that it's going to take a little while for your taste buds to get used to, because you're so used to eating the heavily processed foods, but in time it happens. So just be aware it doesn't happen overnight. And the bread thing, he's going to touch on that. So when you're looking at breads, you want to watch for certain things on the label.
Yeah, with a lot of things with label, just because it says 100% wheat or whole wheat or whatever, you got to look at them first ingredients, because if it's enriched wheat flour or anything like that, down the drain. And then usually it will go enriched whole wheat flour, and then it will go what am I thinking about? The sweetener.
And then it'll say
high fructose
yes.
corn syrup, and then all this other stuff. And it's like, if you initially just look at the package, it looks good, and you're like, I'm gonna grab that and I'm gonna buy it. Same thing with, people think, oh, well, it's GMO free, it's organic, it's vegan, it's this or that. Everybody's like, well, I can eat that because it's good for me. But you could also do your research on that and find out that you can actually gain more weight and do more harm to your body than eating these things are doing, because the nutrition in them are down, and they put fillers in it, and it ends up being more toxic to your body than it does helpful. So you got to look through for all that stuff too.
So as a recap, you want to shop the perimeter of the grocery store. Don't walk in empty-handed. Also, don't go in empty-bellied. You definitely want to have something in your belly before you go grocery shopping, or you're going to end up with a whole bunch of crap in your cart. So make sure you're full, you have your shopping list, you're shopping the perimeter of the store, and you're taking a look at the food labels for food that has 5 ingredients or less that you can pronounce. And when you're looking at products such as bread and wraps and those things, you're looking for whole wheat flour as opposed to enriched wheat flour. And again, it's the same thing with the bread. There's a lot of hidden things inside of bread, so just take a look at the label and make sure it's not anything hidden. We hope that this added some value and helped you understand a little bit more about grocery shopping and food labels, which we're going to talk more about another time, more in depth on that. So that's it for today. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.